Mr. Jordan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
When is the SAP reset date?
It'll be May the 17th.
May 17th. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. Whenever you're ready, we're going to start in courtroom 2 with position 12, Mr. Mullins.
Okay, good afternoon. Hope you're well.
Thank you.
I think we still have a number of people that need to get on, so as soon as everyone's on, we'll get started.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is
Good
the South Annex.
Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, I just saw you this morning, so good day again.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Mullins, is that your client?
Mr. Mullen, I believe so, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, so we are, now that someone from PD's office is here. Good afternoon, Ms. Webb. Is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Mullins. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar. We're conducting this calendar by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah. Okay.
Was that a yes, Mr. Mullins?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have been charged in case 22 CR 002682A with fare evasion, disorderly conduct, simple assault, and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. How are you?
Good. 55 total. 2019 possession of cocaine was the last arrest. On probation for shoplifting and disorderly conduct. 2014 simple battery conviction. 2015 unlawful to remove baggage cargo from a airport, basically. That was a conviction. 2015 probation violation. 2014 obstruction, simple battery arrest. That's enough. That's enough, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
I'll send these recommendations in the chat.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday around noon at the 5 Points MARTA station at 30 Alabama Street in Atlanta, where the defendant was initially detained for fare evasion. And while being detained by the MARTA Police Department, he began to act violently towards the MARTA staff and the police officers by cursing at them. And after they told him to either pay or leave, he refused. He raised his hand up and motioned that he was going to slap and threatened to slap one of the employees. He refused to be placed under arrest by not complying with the officer's orders and holding on to the handrail. Your Honor, as you've heard from pretrial, the defendant does have 55 cycles, which also includes offenses at MARTA. Your Honor, for those reasons, we are recommending a $500 surety bond for each count for the fare evasion, obstruction, simple assault, and disorderly conduct, totaling $2,000 surety with a stay away from MARTA, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a one-day anger awareness.
Yes, Mr. Mullins is 61 years old and he does not have any children or wife. He has a sister here in Georgia. And he has been disabled ever since he was very little. And he graduated from high school. And he has been living here in Georgia for about 61 years. I had a chance to speak to Mr. Mullins' sister. However, they do not have any financial means to pay for any kind of bond. And we please consider that. And we would like to request for signature on bond. He has a mailing address and phone number that the court can contact for the next hearing. Thank you, Your Honor.
It's gonna be a $250 good bond per charge, making it a total of $1,000 good bond. Stay away from MARTA, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Mullins.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Come on, Mr. Mullins, you done. Next, we have position 3, Mr. Biggs. Mullins, where you going? You not, I don't think you're taking me back. You can have in the first row.
Hello, how you doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. Biggs. I'm fine. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, is my mom in here?
What's your mother's name?
Let's see it right there. It say Deletra Turner.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess she is. Mr. Biggs, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002689A with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, family violence, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
My coworker has that file, because he had to go to felony too. I'll find out what the bond was though.
All right, thank you.
State, do you have the file? Otherwise I can go get it.
That's 10,000.
Yes, Your Honor, I have that he has an open disorderly conduct case out of Brookhaven from 2021. His history actually stems from Illinois, specifically Chicago. He has a trespass to land charge from Chicago in 2013, and I believe that was it. He had 2 trespass to land charges from 2013.
Okay.
Convictions, excuse me.
And who's representing Mr. Biggs this afternoon?
Representing me?
Hold on, Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Derek should be representing him. Let me go and check.
Derek Howard is representing. Let's see, courtroom 2, it doesn't seem like Mr. Howard's on the line right now. Can we go to someone else?
I think it's Mr. Coleman, Judge.
Oh.
He logged on, but for some reason he went off. But he's not on at the moment. He did log on earlier. He must have dropped his internet.
That's fine, Judge. We can move to the next person.
Okay, we'll be back to you, Mr. Biggs. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Position 17, Mr. Van Winkle.
Who's representing Mr. Van Winkle?
I believe that's Ms. Kim.
Okay. Are you with us, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. I actually have to send a link to Mr. Darrell so that he can be ready for the trial. Apparently, whatever was sent is not working with him. Give me one second, Your Honor.
All right, that's fine. We're on position. Thank you for doing that, Ms. Kim. We're on position number 17, Mr. Van Winkle.
Yes,
afternoon.
yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Van Winkle. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Van Winkle, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002683D with possession and use of drug-related objects and theft by taking and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
35 total between Georgia and Illinois. Last arrest was April 2021 for theft by taking. It's open in Superior Court. 21 CP 199487. He had a February 2021 aggressive driving, fleeing an officer, driving without a valid license. 2010, unlawful possession of a weapon by a felony conviction, by a felon conviction out of Illinois. He had a robbery conviction from the early 2000s. That's it.
All right, Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor. This particular incident took place on the Georgia State campus at 25 Park Place, Atlanta on yesterday around 5 p.m., where the defendant was seen on camera entering into the Georgia State campus and stole one of the employees' purses and ran out of the front door. The defendant was later located around the Wheat Street area or near Georgia State's campus and was located with a pipe on his person that is commonly used to ingest and inhale controlled substances, Your Honor. Considering the defendant's history, as you've heard from pretrial, the defendant also has another robbery conviction from 2010 out of Illinois, as well as obstruction from 2018 from Illinois as well. Your Honor, the state is making a recommendation for a $2,500 surety bond for that theft by taking, a $500 surety for the drug-related objects, and $1,000 surety for the trespass, Your Honor, based largely on his history and the facts around the case. And we're also requesting a stay away from the entire.
I'm sorry, Ms. Webb. I'm getting interference from someone. I'm not able to
Hey,
hear.
Mr. Mike.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Kim. I'm
I'll
sorry.
start over. Yes,
Well,
Your
you
Honor.
don't have to start completely over, but just like the last 30 seconds.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
All right.
The state is recommending the $2,500 surety for the theft by taking, $500 surety for the drug-related objects, $1,000 surety for the trespass, and totaling $4,000 surety with a stay away from the Georgia State campus and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
What is 25 Park Place?
It's one of the buildings where they host classes at, Your Honor, on Georgia State campus, near the Highland Bakery and the new Arts and Theaters building, same street as the law school
Okay.
and the business school.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ben Winkle is 42 years old and he got out of jail about 90 days ago. He was incarcerated for about 10 months. And right now he has no financial means to pay for any bond. He has been here in Georgia about 2.5 years.
I'm sorry, Ms. Kim. I do apologize, but we're going into a code red. I don't know how long it's going to take. But when we go to stage 2, that means we have to stop the court proceeding, okay?
Okay.
Just to give you all heads up.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So let's see. Can we go to the South Annex?
But you gonna,
No, Judge, I want to keep rolling over here if we can.
Oh, okay.
If not, we can go to South Ending, so we can keep this moving.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I
Thank you.
thought
Thank
you
you.
wanted to shut down courtroom 2
No.
right now. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. Again, I'm sorry, Ms. Kim.
That's okay.
Again, I'm not sure where you were.
I was at, he has been here in Georgia for about 2.5 years. He has 3 children, 18, 5, and 3 years old. And he has his families in Illinois. And he has not had any job for the last 90 days, even though he has tried to find a job. It has not been easy for him. He graduated from high school and he's currently trying to get some help. So we would like to request for a signature on bond. Otherwise, there's no way for him to come out of the jail at this point. Thank you very much.
Okay. For the possession, it's going to be a $250 good bond. For the theft, a $500 good bond. And for the criminal trespass, a $500 good bond, making for a total of a $1,250 good bond. Stay away from 25 Park Place on a Georgia State campus, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. Attorney Darrell has been trying to get into the Zoom hearing, and he's having a hard time.
Mr.
So-
Jordan has suggested that he check his internet connection. It might be on his end.
Okay, I'll double check with him. Thank you.
Okay, I don't.
Yeah, he comes on, but then it says he's connecting, but he never really connects, and then he disappears off the screen.
Okay.
What was Biggs's bond?
We didn't complete Biggs.
Okay.
Next, we have position 18, Ms. Williams.
Number 18, Williams.
Well, we don't have any public defenders on with us right now, so there's not much we can do until they get back with us.
And if
Might
it
be
helps
one of
your
them
honor,
days.
the state is actually recommending a signature bond in Ms. Williams' case as well.
Okay.
This is J. Kim. I think we will take the signature bond, Your Honor. We have no objection.
Okay. What's the signature bond?
Your Honor, in this case, Ms. Williams is accused of refusing to leave her boyfriend, Mr. Anthony Guven, that's Anthony common spelling, Guven, Guven, vehicle. The officer responded and waited for her to leave for about 30 minutes, and she continuously refused. Your Honor, she does not have a criminal history. For those reasons, the state is making a recommendation for a $2,500 signature bond, a no further contact with Mr. Anthony Guven, and a stay away from the incident location at 2705 Old Milton Parkway, Suite 100, Alpharetta, Georgia, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition.
Is that good with you, Ms. Kim?
Well, hold on. Let me clear up something real quick. All right, so this is her second arrest. Last arrest was back in March. Judge, you gave a $2,000 signature bond for criminal trespass. So that's open in state court. 22 CR 001 419G. And it was pretty much the same thing, refusing to get out of somebody's car. This was on Marta. I guess it was in the parking lot. That's it.
Okay. That change your recommendation as well?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will move to convert that to a surety bond, same conditions.
Okay.
Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond because, well, she has been here in Georgia for the last 26 years, and she does not have a job. She has not been able to get a job for the last whole year. She has associate degree. She's actively looking for a job, but it has been really difficult for her. So we would like to request for a signature on bond.
All right, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Mr. Guben. No further contact with Mr. Guben. Stay away from 2705 Old Milton Parkway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. You're getting one more chance, Ms. Williams, all right? I suggest I don't see you again. Okay? All right, thank you.
Next is position 15, Ms. Radar.
Who's representing Ms. Radon?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Rador. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Yes, she's indicated yes. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002693C with stalking, fleeing or attempting to elude police officers, 2 counts of that, improper passing, and failure to obey a stop sign. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The third arrest. Last arrest was in March. Theft by conversion, computer theft. That's open. That's a pretrial case. March 2021, hit and run. It was amended to a non-fingerprintable charge. That's it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Harmon. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Go ahead.
Sure thing. The incident date is May 2nd, 2022, and the location was Ellis Street and across street of Hill Street in Roswell, Georgia. The victim in this case is a woman named Kelly Nelson. That's Kellie, last name Nelson, common spelling. The victim in this case was instructed she had made a 911 call indicating that she was being followed She was instructed to come to the police station. She said she had further indicated to officers that she had changed lanes or it was some type of traffic incident between herself and the defendant, where either she cut the defendant off or the defendant cut her off. Nevertheless, after that incident, the victim continued to travel and the defendant appeared to follow her in a big circle. She kept on traveling and then she realized that the defendant was actually still following her. So she did come to the Roswell police station. There, Sergeant Hanson, who was on duty, observed the defendant's vehicle coming towards him near Roswell City Hall. He tried to flag the vehicle down and gave the defendant instructions to stop. She ignored those instructions and she kept on driving. She was observed running through the stop sign at Ellis Street at a very high rate of speed. And she was later apprehended that evening at her boyfriend's house after the officers had done some investigation. The officer Hanson did identify her. He did see who the driver was, and they were able to catch up with her later regarding that charge. The concerning part of this case, Your Honor, is that she represents a risk of reoffending. The driving record says that she has multiple FTAs. Mr. Howard told us about the hit and run on March of 2021, as well as the open case. Our recommendation for count 1 is a $2,000 surety bond, count 2, a $3,000 surety bond, count 3, a $500 surety bond, excuse me, count 4, $1,000 surety bond, count 5, $1,000 surety bond, with conditions of stay away from the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Okay, Ms. Harmon, I just want to make sure. I'll go by what's on the calendar here. Is your count 1 stalking?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's 2,000. Is your count 2 fleeing or attempted to elude?
Yes, sir.
That's 3,000. Count 3 is reckless driving,
Correct.
500. Count 4, improper passing, 1,000,
Yes.
and failure to obey a stop sign, 1,000. Is that
Correct.
right? Okay,
Definite recommendation.
5, 6, 7, 7,500.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Rader is actually, the story is completely different from her. She is 23 years old and she has no children. She's not married, but her family's, everybody is here. She's been here in Georgia for 23 years. She has no intention to fly. I mean, there's no flee intention as whatsoever. Indeed, about stalking charge, there was no stalking at all. She was driving and she was literally following GPS, which was not giving a proper direction. And when she doesn't even know who this lady is. There's no motive for my client to follow Miss Kelly Nelson. She doesn't know this person. She has nothing to do with it. There was accidents in March and April, continuous accidents. So she's very nervous about the driving. And when she was following her GPS, that's all she could think of. She was not even realizing that she was following another car. I believe that Miss Kelly was probably breaking some kind of like traffic laws or whatsoever, but the warrant says she was following 8 minutes. It's not that I don't understand why 8 minutes of going to a same direction could be considered as a stalking. So that should be absolutely dismissed. And number 2, about other kinds of driving issues, she pleads not guilty, and she claims probably different stories. She has a different interpretation. And we would like to request for signature on bond. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give her a signature on bond, we would like to request for a maximum $1,000, as she is still going to school, Gwinnett College, to get political science, and she hopes to be a lawyer someday. So we would like to request for a very low surety bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I wouldn't recommend a surety bond, excuse me, a signature bond in this case. I just want to bring to your attention that the FTAs were recent. They were in 2021 in another driving offense case. So I don't think that she's a good candidate for a signature bond, considering the new offenses in this case, Your Honor.
We would like to offer no driving for a while if she gets a signature on bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, these are all gonna be good bonds, $1,000 for the stalking, $1,000 for the fleeing or attempting to elude, and $500 for each of the other charges. So that's gonna make a total of a $3,500 good bond, no further contact with Kelly Nelson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Rador.
Next, we have position 6, Ms. Crump.
Good afternoon, Ms. Crump. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Are you indicating yes? Ms. Crump, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002678J with pedestrian in a roadway. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The third arrest, last was 2002 out of Texas. Theft of property.
Your Honor, this is my case. Can you give me 1 second to pull it up?
Okay.
Thank you.
Is this your case also, Mr. Coleman?
It is, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Sorry it took so long to join.
Oh, I understand.
I did want to point out, Miss Crump is actually hard of hearing. I don't know if she's able to hear anything that's going on right now. And she doesn't have a hearing aid.
Okay, well, I'll make sure that the deputy, well, when they come back, it looks like courtroom 2 is no longer with us.
Your Honor, I would like to recommend for a live transcript to be allowed. That's what we had to do in the other court.
Okay, that'll be fine. Mr. Jordan, we can have a live trial. There we go.
Listen, we're going to a cold red. You go to South Annex for me, Judge, please.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Can you go to South Annex? We're gonna change to cold red, okay? We'll be there
Okay.
shortly.
All right,
Thank
very
you.
good. All right. It doesn't look like the South Annex is on. Mr. Jordan, can you give them a call, please?
Judge Morrow, did you enable that feature, the closed captioning?
Mr. Jordan did.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know they had that capability.
You learn something new every day, Mr.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
Mr. Coleman, the reset date is May 17th.
She's gonna be on shortly, Deputy Milton.
Thank you.
We're back.
Okay, who do we have?
You have Miss, what's your name, young lady?
Janetta Basala.
I believe she's position 4.
Ms. Basala. And who's representing Ms. Basala this afternoon?
That would be me, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Basala. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Basala. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002685F with improper erratic lane change, hit and run, duty of a driver to stop or return to a scene of an accident. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's a third. Last arrest was 03. Probation violation for a damage to property from 02. That's what I have.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on March 13, 2022 at the location of I-20 westbound and I-285. The defendant failed to maintain her lane and change lanes when it wasn't safe to do so. She collided with the victim's vehicle, and the victim in this case is a woman named Linda Weiss. Linda, and last name is W-E-I-S-S. Our office was unable to reach her for the Zoom today. Both parties, after the collision, both parties pulled over in order to exchange information. The defendant stopped, exited her vehicle, and approached the victim's vehicle. However, she did not provide the victim with any information, and she left the scene before police arrived. Your Honor, in this case, for the erratic lane change, we're recommending a $1,500 surety bond. And on the hit and run, we're recommending a $2,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We believe that she represents a danger to the community. She poses a risk to reoffend, and she is a flight risk. In 2009, she pled NOLO on her driver record to an improper lane change. In 2018, she pled NOLO to a center lane violation. In August of 2021, she pled guilty to a failure to yield. Also notable is November of 2021, she had a bond forfeiture for a charge of failure to keep proper lane. And just recently in January of 2022, she was charged with speeding, doing 75 in a 35 zone, and there was a bond forfeiture in that case as well. Those are the bases of our recommendation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Harmon. Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, I will be requesting a signature bond for my client. She is 60 years of age. She has attended some college. She is not presently working, residing with an adult daughter. It's my understanding from pretrial services, this is her third arrest. I believe they said the last arrest was in 2003, so almost 20 years ago. I will be requesting a signature bond on this nonviolent offense.
It's not violent, Your Honor, but there are some driving offenses that are similar conduct to the offense that we're here on today, and also are concerning are the bond forfeitures, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not going to keep her in on driving offenses. $500 signature bond through the jail on both offenses, makes for a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail. no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Basila.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Judge Moore,
Yes.
did I miss something? There's three charges.
Okay. So I've got erratic, lane
Oh,
change.
hold on a second, Judge. I think my calendar is wrong for some reason. I have like charge 1, driving, improving improper erratic lane change. And then I have hit and run for 2. Then I have never mind. I see what the problem is.
Okay.
Good.
So we're good. There are only 2 charges, right?
It is 2 charges.
Okay. All right. I see the semicolon. I get mixed up also, Mr. Jordan.
Your Honor,
Yes.
may I speak to you?
No, you have a right to remain silent, Ms.
Oh,
Basila.
There's nothing for you to say at this time, ma'am. You're being released on a signature bond.
okay. Thank you,
All
Your
right, thank
Honor.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Your Honor, is that through pretrial or jail?
It's through the
Yeah.
jail.
Through the jail. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And that's the only one we have at the South Annex, is that right?
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
Okay.
How much was that?
$1,000 signature
Yeah.
bond to the jail, $500 for each charge. All right, we'll see you next time. Officer
Bye.
Moore.
Thank you again for everything, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, so I guess we'll be in recess until courtroom 2 comes back, or until the jail comes back.
Judge, we're ready.
Okay, who do we have next?
Okay. This is gonna be position number. What's your name?
Thomas.
Ms. Thomas, Mr. Thomas, I'm sorry, position 16.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, no problem.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, you've been charged in case 22 CR 006-002686H with criminal trespass and giving false information to law enforcement. Is there a history, Mr. Howard? We'll get back with Mr. Howard. Ms. Webb, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor, it is. This incident occurred around 3 a.m. on yesterday at the 200 Edgewood Apartments located at 200 Edgewood Avenue, Atlanta. Atlanta Police Department responded to an unknown person inside of a resident's home call, and the victim told the officers that she woke up around 2 a.m. and discovered the defendant sleeping on her couch. The victim has absolutely no relation to the defendant, has never seen him before. The defendant immediately left that victim's apartment. The victim name is Miss Faith. That's Faith, common spelling, Brumelow, Brumelow. She did follow him to the lobby and watch him exit through the back door of that garage at 200 Edgewood. The officers were able to locate the defendant in the nearby vicinity, and he seemed to be disoriented and not comprehending and comprehensive, as noted by the officer. He told the officer that he knew the resident and that he came to her home to get a bag, which was false. He also gave the officers a false name and date of birth with the name James Evans, date of birth March 7, 1996. Your Honor, the state is making a recommendation for a $4,500 surety bond for the trespass and a $500 surety bond for the false name, totaling $5,000 surety, with a stay away from 200 Edgewood, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and no further contact with Faith Bromelo. Your Honor, anyone can imagine being a college student and a woman living alone and waking up to the middle of the night, having an unknown stranger sleeping in your home. It's unclear as to how he gained entry into her house, but we are concerned with the resident safety at that community, as there has been several incidents of trespass. In particular, this defendant does have 2 open criminal trespass cases out of Atlanta from 2021, 3 open trespass cases from 2020, 2021, and January 22nd of this year. And he has multiple reports of trespassing at this particular location and has been issued stay away notices by the Atlanta Police Department, Your Honor. Nothing further.
Thank you. Let me go back to Mr. Howard and see if I can get the complete history.
6 total. He's on probation for criminal trespass. He just got put on probation April 28th. 22 CR 002-117B. As the state stated, his last 2 arrests was at 200 Edgewood, the one from January and the one from April 7th. Yeah. And the 2020 terrorist threats, which is open. And he has an open trespass. That's it.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Thomas is 26 years old, and he says that he was at that location being invited by his friend. Anyway, that he has been here in Georgia about 13 years, on and off to here in Louisiana together. He does not have children. He has been working at Coca-Cola for 2 years, and he drives trucks and he does forklifting, and also he stacks up the vending machines in different neighborhoods. And sometimes he needs some equipment for his work. And he said that he has to go back to 200 Edgewood Avenue at least one time to retrieve his bag for the work. And he graduated from high school. He's currently studying in Strayer University at downtown, studying business. This is his 2nd year, actually. And we would like to request for a signature on bond. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for keep the $1,000 surety bond that is currently already there. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, is it $1,000 per charge, or what is the current bond?
Total, right now, I believe there's a 500 each, and then total of $1,000 surety bond.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave that in place, $1,000, 500, good bond, each count. Stay away from the Edgewood Avenue address. No further contact with Faith Bromelo, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. He's been told apparently to stay away from this address a number of times now. If there's something there that he has, he can go back on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. If you come back before us, Mr. Thomas, you've been given warnings to stay away from that Edgewood address. You can go back there on one occasion, but make sure you stay away. You understand me?
Your Honor. That's all it was, just trying to get my items. Yes, sir, I understand.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
And Judge, that was a good bond?
Yes,
$1,000 total good bond.
500 for each count.
Thank you.
Judge, can we go back to position 6, Ms. Crump?
Okay, And this is the one that we need the live caption for. Good afternoon again, Ms. Crump. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. You have been charged in case 22 CR 002678J with pedestrian and roadway. Mr. Jordan, is this captioning? Is it working?
Each person has to turn it on their, like you have to turn it on your computer.
Okay, all right. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that courtroom 2 has it on.
I just put it on, Judge.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that she can understand this. Ms. Crump, you've been charged with pedestrian in a roadway. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. Last arrest was 2002 for theft out of Texas.
Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor. The offense date is May 2nd, 2022. The location is 760 Sidney Marcus Boulevard in Atlanta. The defendant left an unimpeded sidewalk and entered Sidney Marcus Boulevard. She was asking vehicles for money, which impeded traffic. She was instructed by law enforcement to stop, and she didn't. Mr. Howard noted a remote history. It's a non-violent offense. Our recommendation in this case is a $1,000 signature bond and to stay away from the incident location.
You have any problems with that, Mr. Coleman?
No problem, Your Honor.
All right, so $1,000 signature bond through the jail and stay away from the incident location. Good luck to you, Ms. Crump.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Judge, we have position 13. Mr. Phillips, you're done, Ms. Crump. Ms. Crump.
Are they charging me $1,000?
No,
For
Ms.
walking?
No,
I
no.
don't
He's
need to
gonna,
get out?
No
No.
money. You
You
go
don't have to
home.
pay.
Look.
Did I get to go?
yes,
Okay.
have a seat. Next is position 13, Mr. Phillips.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Phillips. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? All right, thank you. He's indicated yes. Mr. Phillips, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002694Y with driving under the influence of alcohol, concentration of 0.0 grams or more. Driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, no insurance, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, improper or erratic lane change, a seatbelt violation, failure to register and obtain or transfer a license plate. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
12 total. Last was 2010, possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. As far as DUIs, 2006, 2009 convictions. 08 suspended license conviction. That's it.
Okay, Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor. The incident occurred on May 2nd, 2022 at the intersections of Pine Grove Road and Stone Grove Place in Roswell. Officers responded to a call that a vehicle had driven into the bushes. The officers made contact with the driver. They took the driver out of the car. The defendant was unsteady on his feet and unaware of his surroundings. He did consent to a field breath test, which registered at 0.285. He told officers that he was coming from a bar and he had a lot to drink. When the officers did further investigation into the status of the vehicle, they found that he had no insurance. The registration showed ceased and his license showed the status of revoked. In a field investigation of the accident showed that based on the position of the seatbelt, it had appeared that it hadn't been worn. Our recommendation in this case, and Your Honor, I'm going to, I don't know what's easier if I just do it by charge, but for charge 1, we're recommending, I'm sorry, a $3,000 surety bond. Charge 2, a $3,000 surety bond. Charge 3, a $500 surety bond. Charge 4, $1,000 surety bond. Charge 5, $1,000 surety bond. Charge 6, $1,000 surety bond. Charge 7, $500 surety bond. That would be a total of $10,000 good. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. The basis for that recommendation, Your Honor, is he has a high risk of reoffending. I found a 2010 DUI, a 2009 DUI, a 2006 DUI, 2007, and 2008. He was driving on a suspended license. In 2017, he was driving without a license. There was also a noted FTA in his history, which is remote, but 2009. We believe that just the sheer nature of the charges represent a danger to the community. He did admit that he was coming from a bar and had a lot to drink to officers. And so based on his history and the nature of the charge, we think a $10,000 good bond is warranted in this case. Thank you.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Phillips is 37 years old, and actually he is recommended for signature on bond by the pretrial. So we would like to continuously recommend for that. And he is currently residing with his parents, and he has been here in Georgia for about 17 years. He's gainfully employed at Verizon Wireless as an IT personnel. So he has had continuous employment for the last 5 years. He has one child, 3 years old. I don't think that he has any risk of flight risk. He has a strong ties to the community, and all those charges, I mean, even though I understand that court may be concerned, but they are remote apparently. And this happened in one incident. We would like to continue with one signature on bond. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we request for a maximum $1,000, 6 surety bond total. So otherwise, he has to take the money out from his 401k, which is going to be really, really hard. So we strongly recommend to have a lower bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, he was driving on a revoked license. He shouldn't have been driving. And let alone driving under the influence. So that's my point in recommending this surety bond as well, Your Honor. It was not, he shouldn't have been driving in the first place. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Harmon. Let's see, for the DUI .08, a $1,500 good bond. For the less safe DUI, a $1,500 good bond. For the no insurance, $250 good bond. Erratic lane change, $250 good bond. Driving while license suspended or revoked, $500 good bond. Seatbelt violation, $50 good bond. Failure to register or transfer a license plate, $250 good bond. So if my math is right, that's going to be a total of a $4,300 good bond. No driving unless you have a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr.
I'm
Phillips.
sorry, Judge, what's the total bond amount?
4,300.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Chapel, position 5.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chapel.
One more for 2 South.
I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're on mute, courtroom 2. We're doing this by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video, Mr. Chapel?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002688E with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 4th arrest. Last was 2019 probation violation. 2019 drugs not in the original container. Possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 narcotic. 2017 driving without a valid license conviction. He has a FTA hold out of Clarkston. Looks like one out of Marlboro as well. Probation. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor, this occurred on June 2nd, 2021 at 2280 Campbellton Road in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Felicia Gates, Felicia, Gates common spelling, who is the defendant's grandparent. The parties were living together. Officers responded to the incident location concerning a dispute. They had an argument which turned physical. The defendant put a lock on the door and Ms. Gates was unable to get into her own home. Excuse me, she called 911 for help to get back into her home. Upon hearing her make the 911 call, the defendant called her a snitch and hit her upon the head with a closed fist. He then snatched her phone out of her hand and repeatedly threw it around until it broke. The phone cost about $179. We believe that this defendant represents a danger to this victim based on the incident details, and also that he has a risk of reoffending with the open holds in Morrow and in Clarkson, in the probation violation in 2019. Our recommendation on the simple battery is a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, a one-day anger awareness course, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. On the criminal trespass, we would add $500 signature bond. In the rest of the conditions of staying away from the victim, the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, I will be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Chappell. He is 24 years of age, lifelong resident of Atlanta, Fulton County. I believe this is only violence in his history, only his fourth arrest. He is a high school graduate. He is currently unemployed, therefore he has no money to post for bond. I remind the court at this time that these are just allegations against Mr. Chappell. Again, I would be requesting a signature bond.
All right, so it's going to be a split bond. It's going to be $2,000 for the simple battery, good bond, a $500 signature bond for the criminal trespass, stay away from the Campbellton Road address, no further contact with Ms. Gates, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Is that signature bond through the jail?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Good luck to you, Mr. Chappell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position 3, Mr. Biggs.
Okay, welcome back, Mr. Biggs. Again, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are holding by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Biggs, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002689A with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, family violence, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is third arrest. 2013 arrest out of Illinois for trespass. May 2021 Brookhaven disorderly conduct. That's it.
All right, Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred around 7 p.m. yesterday at 8090 Adair Lane, apartment 4910, Sandy Springs, Georgia. That's Adair, Adair Lane. The Sandy Springs, the police department were dispatched to a burglary in progress call, but the dispatchers later updated the notes to reflect that the caller was screaming with a male voice that was heard in the background and demanding him to leave, in which he refused. Upon the police officers' arrival, they saw that the front door was damaged and looked as if the front door had been kicked in. They entered the unit and was met by the victim, Miss Zanya Rogers, or her name is spelled ZionyA Rogers. She informed the officer that the defendant was her ex-boyfriend and that they dated from September of 2021 to December of 2021, and that he showed up to the home and kicked in the front door and came in and began damaging items inside of the home, including a ceramic fixtures. And he was throwing those items around the home, and including also opening up her refrigerator, began throwing water bottles at her while she was sitting on the sofa. The defendant then approached her while she was sitting on the couch and kicked her in the neck, but he fell to the ground and she got on top of him to hold him down in self-defense. The defendant and she struggled on the ground, and when she had injuries to her right hand, which resulted in 2 broken fingernails. The parties did live together during that time that they dated. Your Honor, the officer also noted blood outside of the unit and tracking throughout the stairwell and hallways, which the victim explained that was likely from the defendant striking the ceramic glass and throwing that glass around the house, and he probably had a cut on his hand. He did have a cut on his hand when he left. Your Honor, the defendant did flee that scene on foot before the police arrived, but he was located at the front of the complex near the leasing office, Your Honor. And when he was apprehended, he had a marijuana on his person, Your Honor. The state is making a recommendation for a $2,500 surety bond for the battery offense, a $1,500 surety for the criminal trespass, a $500 surety for the marijuana, totaling $4,500 surety. No further contact with Ms. Rogers, a stay away from that incident location at 8090 Adair Lane. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and 1-day anger awareness. Your Honor, in addition to what you've heard from pretrial, the defendant actually also had another case involving the same victim from December 20th, 2021 for a similar offense where he struck the defendant, Ms. Rogers, with glass, causing her to have to get stitches on her right wrist, Your Honor. In addition to, Your Honor, that case was transferred by our office and is now being prosecuted as a aggravated battery. We did make contact with Ms. Rogers, and she did inform us that she is indeed afraid of the defendant and that he does have a key to her home and that she is afraid that he will return, especially considering that previous case, Your Honor. Nothing further.
When was the aggravated battery?
Yes, Your Honor, that's from December 20th, 2021. There was a warrant out for that case, Your Honor. She did call the police, but the defendant fled in an Uber ride, according to her testimony, Your Honor. So he was arrested on both of these charges yesterday.
You got 10,000 on that one.
You got 10,000 good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, I would be requesting a signature bond for Mr. Biggs. Doesn't have much for criminal history. Apparently, this is only his 3rd arrest. He is 27 years of age, resident of Atlanta, Fulton County. He went as far as the 10th grade. States that he is presently employed as a dancer. He is the father of 3 children, ages 6, 7, and 7. And he has little to no money to post for bond. I will remind the court at this time that these are just allegations against Mr. Biggs. Again, I'd be requesting a signature bond, or in lieu of that, a low bond.
All right, for the battery, it's going to be $1,000 good. For the criminal trespass, a $500 good. For the possession, a $250 good, making for a total of a $1,750 good. No further contact with Ms. Rogers. Stay away from the Adair Lane address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Biggs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Coleman, I think he has his hands up.
So that's the total that I have to pay? The total for both sides of the court?
The total bond is $1,750. That would be about $200 to a bonding company.
Listen what he just said. All you gotta do is pay $200 for misdemeanor.
I don't understand none of this stuff. I don't understand none of this. I don't understand none of this, and I just want my OG, my mom to
Biggs, we're
explain
gonna
it.
explain it to you.
All right, thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Biggs.
Next, we have position 9, Mr. Hanson.
My mom.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hanson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Okay, yes, you're on mute. Thank you, Mr. Hanson. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002680Y with obstruction of a law enforcement officer, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, carrying a weapon in a school safety zone, and carrying a weapon in a school safety zone. Hold on, Mr. Hanson. I'll give you the chance to talk with Mr. Coleman if you need to speak with him, okay? Mr. Howard, is there a history? If you're talking, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was. Second arrest, 2020 Cobb County hit and run. It was amended to basic rules conviction.
Is that it? Oh, yes. Okay. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This occurred at the Skyview High School in College Park at 5134 Old National Highway, College Park, Georgia, around 1:45 on the May the 2nd. The defendant is a student at Skyview, and he was found rolling up a marijuana cigarette on school property. The officer asked for his backpack, and the defendant took off running southbound on that property and was apprehended and placed under arrest. The defendant was located with a black Taurus GZC serial number TMC, that's T as in Tim, M as in Mary, C as in cat, 99295. In that backpack, Your Honor, the officer warrant states that the defendant has a license, but the state is investigating whether or not the defendant is a licensed gun holder or not, Your Honor. The state is recommending a $3,000 surety for the weapon in a school zone, a $1,000 surety for the obstruction, totaling $4,000 surety, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and to abide by any active school suspensions that may be in place by Skyview, Your Honor, from this case. We are concerned that the defendant is a possible threat to the community. Not sure why the defendant feels to have a gun on his person while he's on school premises, but the school environment, of course, is designed for learning, and the state is concerned with the potential for gun violence at the school and for the students and the staff there, Your Honor. Nothing further.
What was your recommendation for the marijuana?
The marijuana charge is being null pros, Your Honor. Excuse me, I meant to mention that.
Okay.
And I will submit a null pros order to Mr. Jordan as well.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Webb. Mr. Coleman, your client continues to have his hand up.
What is it, sir?
Your Honor, I
Say
would,
anything about the facts of the case at this time?
yes, I would like to explain my side, because my side.
No, sir, don't do that at this time. That's not necessary at this time.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, I will be requesting a signature bond from Mr. Hanson. As Ms. Webb stated, he is a student there at Skyview High School. He is 19 years of age. He is presently employed as a manager at Captain D's restaurant, presently residing with his grandmother. Appears that this is only his second arrest. These are nonviolent offenses. Again, I remind the court at these times that these are just allegations against Mr. Hanson. I will be requesting a signature bond on his behalf.
All right, so for the obstruction, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the weapon charge, a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, making for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through the jail. Abide by any restrictions from Skyview that might be in place. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you.
Okay, you're done.
So let me know.
We got a signature bond. Next, we got position 10, Mr. Kemp. Sir. Sir. Come on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kemp. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Kemp, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002681C with fare evasion and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is fourth arrest. Last was in February for battery family violence. June 2016 shoplifting. 2012 hijacking a motor vehicle. That's it.
Are those all open?
The battery family violence is.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has a warrant out of state court.
A warrant for that family violence?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, okay, thank you. Let's see, Ms. Webb.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred at the North Avenue MARTA station at 641 West Peachtree Street on May the 2nd, which is yesterday, where the defendant was accused of skipping the fare gates at the North Ave MARTA station, Your Honor. The state is making a recommendation for a $2,000 surety for the trespass offense and $500 surety for the fare evasion, totaling $2,500 surety with a stay away from all MARTA, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, the state is concerned with a risk of reoffending. In this particular case, the defendant has been issued and does have active suspensions for MARTA between the dates of March the 25th, 2022 and May the 24th of 2022. And he's out on bond for a battery family violence. It was just recently released on March the 28th, Your Honor. In addition to we believe the defendant is a possible flight risk, as he also FTA'd on that battery charge just this year, Your Honor. For those reasons, we are making that $2,500 surety bond for Mr. Kemp today.
Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, I be requesting signature bonds for Mr. Kemp on these nonviolent offenses. He is 28 years of age, resident of Atlanta, Fulton County. He is a high school graduate. However, he is currently unemployed, therefore he has no money to post for bond. Only his fourth arrest. Again, I'd be requesting signature bond. These are low-level misdemeanor offenses.
It's going to be a $250 good bond per charge, making for a total of a $500 good bond. Stay away from MARTA during any active suspensions, no drug, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Kemp.
Judge, you said 500 good bond?
Yes, $250 for each charge.
Okay, thank you. Next is position 11, Mr. Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sure, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002687C with 2 counts of cruelty to animals. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I got first arrest.
Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This case arises from an investigation that was conducted by the Fulton County Animal Control. The Animal Control Department received a tip regarding a potential animal abuse. The courtesy officer at the defendant's apartment complex, which is the Bell Cheshire Bridge, located at 2124 Cheshire Bridge Road, apartment number 3304, Atlanta, Georgia, 30324. Courtesy officer there emailed the investigating control officer regarding 2 dogs that were in the defendant's home. The investigation unveiled that the dogs were not being adequately fed or conditioned or cared for, Your Honor. They were being kept in unsanitary conditions, including being held in a dog cage with fecal matter and urine. The dogs were not groomed. One dog, which is a lab mix, had nails that were visibly overgrown, and there was evidence that the dog was laying and walking in urine and feces. The second dog, which is a possible golden doodle, was overgrown as well and had to go undergo further evaluation. The officer was able to visibly see that there was malnourishment in the dogs. As you can see, the bone structure and the dog's ribs through their coats, despite those coats being overgrown, Your Honor. In addition to the apartment complex reported that they have had conversations about the care of those dogs, Your Honor. So we are concerned about a risk of reoffending if the defendant is allowed to have any animals in his care. In that particular case, we are making a recommendation for a total $5,000 surety for the cruelty to animals. I believe it's 2 counts of cruelty to animals, so $2,500 each count. No animals in a household under his care, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, Your Honor. In addition to, Your Honor, we would like to note that one of the dogs is currently being treated for muscle wasting, which of course we know happens after a long and extended period of not feeding or nourishing that dog, Your Honor. And based on the control officer's evaluation, the comment was rendered to us that they're not for sure what would have killed the dog the first, the starvation or the living conditions that they were being placed in.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mitchell is 20 years old, and Your Honor, he has gone through very difficult situations. He was an excellent student at high school after graduation. He wanted to go to college, and yet he had to work full time, and he had to be a mother's caretaker because his mom became very ill. And so instead of going to the college, he's going to prep school to become basically to go to college with his basketball skills. And hopefully he can get the scholarships to accomplish his dreams. I don't think it was intentional negligence. It was more about he has been himself he's been going through very difficult times financially, and also at the age of 20, taking care of mom is not easy. That can be very overwhelming. So we would like to request for signature on bond. He has no prior history whatsoever in terms of violence or any kind of crimes. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail for each count. No animals and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Next, we have position 14, Mr. Powell.
I'm taking a minute.
Yeah, sit down.
I'm taking a minute.
Good afternoon, Mr. Powell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Yes, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002690B with simple assault. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
16 total. Last arrest was 2020, misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Another 2020 arrest, probation violations for obstruction, criminal damage to property, criminal trespass. 2019 probation violations for the same thing. 2019 disorderly conduct conviction. Another 2019 probation violation for those same charges. 2017 failure to appear. 2017 disorderly conduct conviction. 2014 FTA for marijuana conviction. 2014 probation violation, disorderly conduct. That's it.
All right, Ms. Harmon.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on May 2nd, 2022 at 3000 Hospital Boulevard, and that's North Fulton Hospital. The victim in this case is a doctor there, Dr. Dirk Schrader. I'm gonna spell the first name too, D-I-R-K. Last name is Schrader, S-C-H-R-A-D-E-R. Our office did attempt to reach out to Dr. Schrader, but we were unable to reach him. Essentially, Your Honor, the victim, Dr. Schrader, was treating the defendant at the hospital. The defendant got upset when the doctor couldn't find any medical issues to treat for the defendant. The defendant told the doctor that he would stab him, and he flipped him off the middle finger. And a few minutes passed. The victim was walking by the defendant, and the defendant lunged at him. He did have to be restrained by security until officers were able to come and arrest him. Our recommendation in this case is a $1,000 surety bond on the simple assault charge. Stay away from the victim. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And that's based on, Your Honor, the multiple probation violations that Mr. Howard referenced, the multiple FTAs that Mr. Howard referenced. We do believe that he does have a flight risk in this instance, and that he does represent some risk to reoffend with also the mention of the disorderly conduct arrest throughout the history as well. Nothing further on this.
Ms. Kim, your client has his hand up.
Mr. Powell, if this is nothing to do with a bond, please just give me a call. I'll explain to you.
I never stated that I would stab the man. I did state that I would probably do physical harm to him, but there was no way that.
We would like, I
saying
mean,
that I would
please,
stab that man. There's no way I would say.
you have
Hold on,
every right to
Mr.
stay silent.
Mr. Powell, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. Let Ms. Kim speak for you, okay?
I understand that, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Powell. Go ahead, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Mr. Powell is 29 years old, and actually, he has been here in Georgia for about 14 years, and he's not employed at this point, and he does not remember the incident because he was going through seizure/blackout moments. He needs more, what he needs is medical attention more than anything else. So we would like to request for a signature on bond and yet have a behavioral health evaluation test with a visit from the social worker services. And he does not have any financial mean. At this point, there's a $500 surety bond. So if your honor is not inclined to give him signature on bond, we would like to keep it as is, your honor. Thank you.
And Your Honor, before you rule, can I add one more condition to our recommendation, which would be to stay away from North Fulton Hospital except for a medical emergency?
Okay.
Thank you.
So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail with a social worker visit. No further contact with Dirk Schraber. Stay away from North Fulton Hospital unless he is seeking medical treatment. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Powell.
Thank you.
So that was the 3,000 SOB through the jail?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Next is position 7, Daniels.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daniels. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is a state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Daniels, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002692D with theft by taking. Is there history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last was June, theft by taking, June 2021. He's on probation for burglary, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Case number 17 SC 155740. 2018, they gave him 10 years probation. 2017 simple assault, he pled no to that. 2017 failure to appear, not prosecuted. 2017 trespass dismissed.
Okay, Ms. Harmon.
Yes, Your Honor, the offense date is May 2nd, 2022 at 348 Misty Lane in Roswell, Georgia. The victim in this case is Ana, A-N-A, Barbara, B-A-R-B-A-R-A, Vasquez, V-A-Z-Q-U-E-Z. Your Honor, he was given a $1,000 surety bond, but I will be recommending to double that bond. He did admit to taking a mirror belonging to Ms. Vasquez that she valued at $300. And he did take that mirror and sold it to a stranger in the street for $40. Our office did reach out to Ms. Vasquez, and she indicated that this is not the first time he's stolen items for her, but it's the first time she's called the police. I'm sorry. She's not afraid of the defendant, but she wants him to understand that he cannot steal her things and sell them. She does want to have contact with the defendant. Your Honor, our recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. That's based on a couple of things. I think he shows that he has a risk to reoffend while committing another theft while on a burglary probation. And that's the case Mr. Howard referenced. He also has the recent theft by taking, which he pled guilty to in 2021. I think he also represents a flight risk in that he has the 2017 FTA. And even though the defendant does want to have contact and that kind of thing, I think what concerns me about her statement to our office is that this is not the first time that he stole the items from her, but it's the first time she's called the police. So this is something that has recurred a few times. So those are the basis of our recommendation. Nothing further from the state on this one.
Is this a business or is this,
I believe it's a home, Your Honor, but I can double check just the warrant one more time, but I believe it's a home.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
hold on. Mr.
Don't say
Daniels.
anything at this time, Mr. Daniels.
While you're looking for that, Ms. Harmon, I'm gonna go on to Mr. Coleman.
Yes, sir.
Coleman.
Your Honor, I will be requesting signature bond for Mr. Daniels. He is 23 years of age, resident of Atlanta, Fulton County. He went as far as the 11th grade. He is currently not working, therefore he has no money to post for bond. Only 6 arrests. This is a nonviolent offense. Again, I'd be requesting a signature bond, or in lieu of that, a low bond for Mr. Daniels.
Do you know anything about this Misty Lane address, Mr. Coleman, and who Ms. Vasquez is to him?
I believe that's his sister.
Oh, okay.
The address,
I'm looking at it as well, Your Honor.
I'm not sure where the address is.
All right.
It's not abundantly clear that it's a home, but that's my impression.
All right. So it's gonna be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Vasquez, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Daniels.
Next, we have position 2, Mr. Andre. You can.
You know, we ain't gonna be met for.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andre. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is a state court expedited accusation calendar that we are holding by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 002677H with battery family violence. It's your history, Mr. Howard. You with me, Mr. Howard? Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor. I noted 27 arrests total. He has history out of Florida. He has, let's see, a 2011 FTA out of Georgia, 2013 FTA out of Florida, 2019 FTA out of Georgia, in an April 2019 FTA out of Morrow, the city of Morrow. Does look like he had a remote conviction in Florida for possession of methamphetamines in 2008, and a burglary in 2012. That's the history I noted, Your Honor.
Okay, and about this incident?
Yes, this occurred on May 2nd, 2022. The address, or not the address, but the location on the warrant says Barton Drive in Fairburn, Georgia. The victim in this case is Shauna Middy, SHAWNA. Last name is Middy, MIDY. We did reach out to Miss Middy for to comment on the case, but we were unable to reach her. It looks like the parties live together, Your Honor, at that location, at another location. I'm sorry, not at that or Barton Drive. The defendant struck Miss Middy, which caused her right eye to become red and swollen. Her bottom lip was busted, and she had a knot on her left temple. I believe, Your Honor, that the state is concerned that he represents a danger to the victim based on the incident details. There is a risk of reoffending. There is some history of similar charges, but they were dismissed. There was a 2011 battery family violence that was dismissed. There was a 2015 battery family violence that was dismissed as well. There was a 2019, strike that, Your Honor, I apologize. Based on those other offenses, and even though they were dismissed, it does show a history of violence and a risk of reoffending and a danger to the victim. Our recommendation in the case is a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, a 1-day anger awareness, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And Your Honor, I may have to pull the party's address and request to stay away from that address as well, since I'm requesting no contact with the victim.
All right, so if you can get me the address, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, I would be requesting a signature bond on lieu of that, a low bond for Mr. Andre. He is 37 years of age. He went as far as the 10th grade. He currently works doing landscaping. He is the father of 2 children, ages 6 months and 5 years. I remind the court again that these are just allegations against him at this time. We will be requesting a signature bond or in lieu of that, a low bond.
Are these children with Miss Mitty?
I don't believe so. He told me that he's married, but not to Miss Mitty.
Okay. And did you get that address, Ms. Harmon?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 2503 Lawrenceville Highway, apartment 6 in Decatur, Georgia, 30033.
Do you have a need to go back there for anything, Mr. Coleman?
Again, he tells me that he does not, is this the address where you reside, sir?
So I stay in Ellenwood, 348 Sapphire Circle in Ellenwood, Georgia.
So you have no reason to go back to that address?
No, sir, I've never been there in my life.
All right, thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $2,500 good bond, no further contact with Miss Mitty, stay away from the Lawrenceville Highway address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your
Good
Honor,
luck to
can
you,
you
sir.
repeat the bond amount, please?
Yes, $2,500 good.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 8, Mr. Gunby.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gunby. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Gunby, you've been charged in case 22 CR 002679C with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8th arrest. 2020 was the last for DUI. 2014 battery DV. I don't have a disposition for that one. 2013 probation violation DUI. 2012 probation violation, same thing. He had an act stalking.
You got that bond order in front of you? I'm gonna ask you for the number.
2005 act stalking dismissed. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident came from a police report that was filed by the victim, Miss Kimberly Briggs. That's Kimberly Kimbrly Briggs, Briggs. Ms. Briggs came to the police department, Roswell Police Department, on May the 1st to report an incident that occurred on April the 29th at 285 Holcomb Bridge Road, Roswell, Georgia. The victim alleged that the defendant pushed her into the bedroom door several times, threw her on the bed, and punched her in the face. The victim had a black eye that was completely swollen shut and noted by that responding officer, Your Honor. This state is recommending a $5,000 surety. No further contact with Ms. Briggs.
I'm sorry, Ms. Webb. Mr. Lewis, you're not on mute.
Oh, sorry, Judge.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Webb. I'm sorry.
A stay away from that incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and 1-day anger awareness. Your Honor, the state is concerned with the risk of reoffending. The victim reported that did report this incident a few days after, and it's unclear as to what provoked the defendant, but the display of violence that resulted in a complete and swollen in shut black eye is a sign that he does have the propensity to commit violence. Also, Your Honor, considering the defendant's previous history, including those battery arrests from 2014 and aggravated aggravated stalking from Newton County in 2005, Your Honor. In addition to those several probation violations, moreover, Your Honor, we are concerned with witness intimidation in this case. I believe Ms. Briggs is on the call as well. At least I saw her a moment briefly beforehand, Your Honor. And as I stated, she did go down to that police department to file that report because she is afraid of the defendant. Nothing further.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis, is this your case?
It is, Judge. Can we hear from the victim?
Yes, if she would like to speak to the court. Ms. Briggs, I see that you're on the line. If you would like to address the court, you're free to do so. You do not have to. If you do so, I'll need for you to activate your camera for me and I'll have to swear to you.
All right, okay, sorry.
All right. Hold on. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I just wanted to say that while the accusations are true, I wasn't aware that reporting the incident resulted in an arrest warrant for him. And Mr. Gunby is in poor health. He also has a big kitten in poor health as well that I know means the world to him. And his financial resources are limited. So I am actually asking for some leniency in that department.
Okay. Why did you report the incident if you didn't want him arrested?
I thought I could report it and document it and not necessarily have it result in arrest. I naively didn't know that that would be the case. But I mean,
has this happened before?
In 2014.
Okay. And you want it documented because it had happened before?
Yeah, just mostly because in case things got worse. And because again, you know, I had this giant black eye, and so I just wanted it on record. But I had promised him actually that I wouldn't call the police. And so I don't know.
Who is Mr. Gunby to you?
We've been dating off and on for 8 years, and as at the time of the incident, I'm not 1,000% sure if we were boyfriend girlfriend or not. I think that we still were, but he's been staying in my apartment for the last year.
Okay, so you live together.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Mr. Lewis, thank you, Ms. Briggs.
Thank you.
Give me just a second, Judge. Let me plug up because I'm losing power here. Just a moment, please. Judge, where is the alleged incident? I'm sorry, and thank you for your patience.
That's fine. I have it down as 285 Holcomb Bridge Road. I don't know if you're talking or not, Mr. Lewis, but you're on mute.
Yes, Judge, I'm here. Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court to give this man a signature bond in this case. I'm going to ask you to deny the state's request that he stay away from this location. Judge, I'm going to draw your attention to case number 21CR 005 472 G as in George. In particular, I'm looking at your bond order in that case. My client is 37 years of age, Judge. I have heard his history. But for the violation of your bond order, this couldn't have happened. There's no way in the world that it happened. And I've sat here today and heard the state's representation, but I've also heard the state not request a violation of your bond. But I would submit to you that if in fact this young man was at that address, he had the right to be there. But this purported victim, according to your bond order, did not. I would ask the court to give a signature bond to this young man, allow him to return back to the property where he was living. I would ask the court to, he is an employee of Red Lobster, where he has been employed for some time. We don't know if he's still employed because now he's been sitting in the jail for some time. He has some college. I've heard Mr. Pretrial talk about his record. And that's where we are on this matter. Beyond this date, Judge, if he still has a job, he makes too much money to qualify under the poverty guidelines. But if he doesn't have a job, of course, we'll be happy to take him on. Thank you.
Mr. Lewis, who was the defendant in that? I can't pull that up presently. Who was the defendant in that bond that you're reciting?
Kimberly, and last name spelled Briggs.
Okay, and so what was she charged with?
Battery, family violence.
And she was what were the conditions of that bond?
No further contact with Mr. Gumby, who you have before you. Stay away from the incident location that you have. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol. 1 day anger awareness class, and that's all. And I can forward that to you in email, Judge.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. One, we don't know the facts surrounding as to how these parties came in contact. For all we know, the defendant could have contacted her. That information was not provided to the defense or the state in terms of the actual warrant or police reports that we have as of today. Second,
hold on. Let me address your first point. I got the Holcomb Bridge Road address, from you, and you're the one who told me that was the incident location, right?
That was what she reported as. I'm not for sure if the officer reported her living address as the incident address, but that was the address that was on the incident report that was filed. It doesn't detail exactly where the assault took place.
Okay, and Mr. Lewis, there was I imposed a stay away from Ms. Briggs and Mr. Gunby, is that right?
Yes, sir. You opposed it against her. He wasn't an arrestee in that case.
Okay.
He was not an arrestee.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Ms. Webb, I interrupted you. What was your second point?
And then the second point, Your Honor, is in that particular, the second point too, Your Honor, is that this particular case, considering the 2014 conviction, this case will likely be upgraded as well to a felony, since this is a second battery, possible second family battery violence.
All right, anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, so these two people, shouldn't have been around each other, shouldn't be around each other. It's gonna be a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. No further contact with Ms. Briggs. Since I have ordered her to stay away from the Holcomb Bridge Road address, I'm not gonna order him to stay away from that address because apparently that's his address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
It's per judge. Oh.
Well, it can be per judge, that's fine with me, but I thought that pretrial had recommended him.
Yeah, I didn't see the previous battery. It was at the top of the GCIC where the staple was. So I didn't see the previous ones. So I would have let you know there,
All right, so it's gonna be per judge, that's fine. And so, Ms. Webb, I think that your office should take note of the sworn testimony that has come before this this court today?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Gunby.
Judge, that concludes my business before you today. May I be excused to Henry County?
Yes.
Thank
Have
you.
a good afternoon. Always
You as well.
always good seeing you. Thank you.
Pleasure's mine. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Who do we have next?
Judge, I have an announcement.
Okay.
Position 1 is a medical reset along with position 19.
Okay, so Mr. Anderson, position 1 will be reset for 5/4 tomorrow. And position number 19, who is Mr. Williams, will be reset for 5/4 medical reset. Okay, does that conclude everyone?
Yes, Judge, we're completed here in courtroom 2.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, be safe.
All right, thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so when Mr. Jordan's ready, we'll go over the calendar. Hi, Ms. Falk, how are you? Good to see you.
Sorry, I was muted. Hi, I'm doing well, Your Honor.
I've missed seeing you the last couple of days.
Yes, I had a family member who was hospitalized, so I'm actually working remotely right now.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, no problem at all.
We're ready when you are, Mr. Jordan.
Hey, Judge. Position 1 is reset to tomorrow's SCA calendar. Position 2 is a $2,500 good bond, reset 5/17/22 SAP. Position 3 is a $1,750 good bond, reset SAP. Position 4 is a $1,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 5 is a $2,500 split bond, reset SAP. Charge 1 was a $2,000 surety, and charge 2 was a $500 sign-on bond jail. Position 6 is a $1,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 7 is a $3,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 8 is a $3,000 sign-on bond pretrial per judge. Position 9 is a $4,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 10 is a $500 good bond, reset SAP. Position 11 is a $2,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 12 is a $1,000 good bond, reset SAP. Position 13 is a $4,300 good bond, reset SAP. Position 14 is a $3,000 sign-on bond jail. Position 15 is a $3,500 good bond, reset SAP. Position 16 is a $1,000 good bond, reset SAP. Position 17 is a $1,250 good bond, reset SAP. Position 18 is a $3,000 sign-on bond jail, and position 19 is reset to tomorrow's SCA.
All right, any questions, concerns?
You here tomorrow?
I am with the Orca calendar tomorrow, Mr. Howard. And what did I tell you about takebacks, Mr. Howard? That staple comes from the staple. No takebacks.
It was at the top of the paper though. I didn't even see it.
All right, I'll take the.
There's law tomorrow.
Law? Okay.
Yes.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you,
Bye.
Your Honor.